Who should Arsenal sign in this summer's transfer window? In this video I'll look at who Arsenal should sell, the potential transfer budget and what positions they need to improve upon. I also have the same series for Manchester United that you can check out after this video as well. But before this video starts, if you are looking for something that can enhance the quality of your photos, then you need Zona Photo Studio X. Zona Photo Studio is the most universal photo software there is. It has raw processing, layer support, presets, retouching tools, video editing and cataloguing, so it's all there and can help you get that perfect photo. I'll come back to this later on in the video, but a link will be left in the description below. So the main problems facing Mikel Arteta's current Arsenal squad are the lack of quality defenders, Mesut Ozil's place in the system and the contract situations of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and Alexander Lacazette. I would look to get rid of Mesut Ozil as he is on £350,000 a week and doesn't offer the same impact in the team that Aubameyang does. Arsenal wouldn't be able to command a fee for the German and would probably have to subsidise a proportion of his wages just to get him off the books. Even though Aubameyang only has 1 year left on his contract, I wouldn't sell him, even if he wasn't willing to sign a contract extension, as even if Arsenal did try to sell him in the summer, I don't think anyone would be prepared to pay anything more than £30 million for a 31-year-old who only has 1 year left on his contract. To me, £30 million isn't enough to replace such a key player in the side to the level of Aubameyang's quality, so it would be better to keep Aubameyang for 1 year and look for a replacement next summer. I would however look to sell Lacazette, as I don't think him and Aubameyang in the same side fits into Arteta's 4-3-3 system, and if Arsenal could get around £45 million for a 28-year-old soon to be 29-year-old striker who has 2 years left on his contract, this would give Arsenal the funds to reinvest in the attack. Along with Lacazette, Kolasinac could also be sold for £15 million, Callum Chambers for £15 million, Ainsley Maitland-Niles for £15 million, and around £10 million each for Henrik Mkhitaryan and Mohamed El-Neni. This would raise around £110 million in player sales, and Arsenal should also look to get a few other players off the wage bill, including Mustafi and Socrates. Arsenal should have a net transfer budget of around £40 to £50 million, so with the money that could be raised by selling the players I have suggested, Arsenal could have a budget of around £150 million. So what should Arsenal be looking to do in this transfer window? Well, Arsenal need a long-term strategy to first get back into the Champions League and then get into a position where they can compete for the title again. Arsenal don't have the same spending power or attraction to players that the likes of Manchester United and Manchester City do, so they should look to adopt an approach similar to that of Borussia Dortmund or Sevilla, focused on bringing in players around the 20 to 24-year-old age mark for smaller fees and looking to develop the team as a whole. The first and most obvious place Arsenal need to improve is at centre-back. The remaining centre-backs after Socrates and Mustafi are shipped out would be David Luiz and Rob Holding, along with William Saliba when he comes back from his loan spell at St Etienne. Pablo Mari looks like he will return to Flamengo, but regardless, Arsenal still need to bring in another centre-back. The requirements for a centre-back in Arteta's side are that they can play in a high defensive line, so therefore they need some degree of pace and athleticism. They need to be good on the ball in terms of playing out from the back and being able to play passes or dribble out into midfield. Also, someone that is very good in aerial duels would also be very welcome, as this is an area where Arsenal are currently lacking in. At left back, I think Arsenal look secure with Tierney a very good option, but Arteta also should persist with Saka in this advanced fullback position, as he looks like he could undergo the same sort of development in their position that the likes of Alphonso Davies and Trent Alexander-Arnold have undergone, and Arsenal could potentially have a world-class left back in the making if his defensive attributes can develop accordingly. I do think Arsenal need to improve the right back position. Whilst Bellerin is a decent player, I think there are better technical right backs that Arsenal could sign, which would improve their possession system and give them a greater threat down the right flank. Preferably, Arsenal should look to sign a right back who can play as an inverted fullback if needed, as Arteta did look to use Ainsley Maitland-Niles in this position, with Saka pushing ahead as a more natural attacking fullback on the other side. In midfield, Arsenal need a player who can play as a single pivot, the same role that Rodri plays in for Manchester City. This is because Xhaka is not good enough on the ball when the opposition press him aggressively, as he doesn't have the same composure or ball control to be able to turn out of trouble that the likes of Rodri or Sergio Busquets have. This is a vital skill for any player playing in this reduced role, as it enables a side to bypass an opposition's press and move the play forward into the midfield. Arsenal should be looking for a player not only excellent on the ball under pressure, but also someone who is a very good passer, being able to play long sweeping passes into wide attackers and being able to play low incisive passes into players who are positioned between the lines. A good reading of the game and positioning is also vital for this position, as without it, a team's press can be disjointed and not as effective. Ahead of the single pivot, Arsenal currently have Ceballos, who I think is potentially one of the best players in the world in this position. However, he seems unsettled at Arsenal, and I don't think they'll be able to sign him on a permanent basis from Real Madrid, and his likely destination is somewhere back in Spain like Real Betis or Sevilla. Therefore, Arsenal should also be looking for an advanced central midfielder who can play in a midfield 3, but will move ahead of the opposition's midfield as a false 8. We saw OZIL do this at the start of Arteta's reign, and it's how Kevin De Bruyne and David Silva have been deployed by Pep Guardiola at Manchester City. The central midfielder will need to have the technical and creative abilities that you would expect, but also must be a good presser, knowing when to apply pressure and how to cut off passing lanes into players who move in behind him. Creativity isn't just limited to Arsenal's potential central midfielders, as you can be creative with your photos by downloading the Zona Photo Studio X. All you need to do is go to www.zona.com, where you can download the software for a free 30-day trial with no obligations, so you can see if you like the product before you buy it. This is the perfect software for someone who loves taking photos, and they even have tutorials on their website to help you learn how to use the software effectively. The link to the website will be in the description below. So with Lacazette being moved on, Arsenal would also need to find a replacement in the forward line. In Arteta's 4-3-3 system, Aubameyang would play from the left, but move into central positions playing as a wide forward. Pepe on the other side would play more as a natural wide player. Arsenal should be looking to sign a player who can play centrally as a false 9, dropping off from the forward line to create space for Aubameyang by dragging a centre back out of the back line, and also sit between the lines and look to link with the central midfielders. Having a player who is also versatile and can play in any position along the front line is also needed, with Arteta maybe looking to use a fluid front 3 in the 4-3-3. So that's 5 players I think Arsenal should be looking to bring in. They have players like Martinelli, Reece Nelson and Eddie Nketiah who will act as squad players and can come in to fill positions when needed, but also should be eased into the starting 11 throughout the season. So in the next 5 episodes of this series, I will be looking at a centre back, a right back, a deep line central midfielder, an advanced central midfielder and a centre forward for Arsenal to bring in, with a transfer budget of £150 million. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and click the bell to get notified when those episodes come out. After this series, I'll also be doing the same series for Barcelona, Tottenham, Chelsea and any other clubs you want me to do. And once again, remember to check out the sponsor of today's video, Zona Photo Studio X. It combines good organisational tools with fast raw photo handling and adds layer-based editing to the mix to create an excellent all-round editor that is perfectly positioned to take on both Lightroom and Photoshop. So if you are looking for a way to enhance the quality of your photos, click the link in the description below.